Forever Fabulous. Welcome. I'm your host, Tanya. Today's segment is all about, do you have what it takes to become a model? If I tell you how many times women approach me asking me whether or not they've got what it takes to be a model, it's like this fantasy career that we women seem to hold close to our hearts, and in secret, all of us seem to hope that just maybe we have what it takes to get there. So we're going to go through my journey just a little bit, but I'm going to take you through the process of today's world because I've been at this on and off for over 40 years and you don't want to hear about all of that. But I'm going to take you through the process today as to what it really takes to get there. So stay tuned, buckle up, subscribe, because I want to grow this fabulous community. And if you're interested in whatever my makeup look is, it'll be listed at the end. So here we go. When I was a young lady, I had this dream of wanting to become a model. We're talking well over 40 years ago. And in that time, there was no internet, there were no cell phones. All we really had were magazines. And as young ladies, we would buy these magazines, we would read through them, comb through what is the latest. They were our fashion Bible, so to speak. And so it was in one of those magazines that I saw the top modeling agency in Milan, Italy. So I made the decision to cut that name and address out, and I knew somewhere along the line that I was going to try to get there. And I did. I bought a one-way ticket and I flew myself to Milan, Italy. I will never forget that day. I was exhausted. I was scared and excited all at once, and I was in my early 20s. And so I went straight from the airport to the modeling agency and arrived with suitcases, and I arrived to the reception area and declared, "Hi, I'm Hanya. I'm from Toronto. I would like to be a model." And they all looked at me, really surprised, and said, "You came here from Toronto?" And I said, "Yes, I'm here right from the airport, straight to you." Well, I have to say that those ladies, they were booking agents. They were absolutely lovely to me. There was no way that I could find a hotel anywhere because it was, unbeknownst to me, the furniture show of Milan, and every pension and every hotel was booked solid. So in their kindness of heart, instead of just turning me out into the street, they agreed to find at least some accommodation for me. So the truth is that the owner of the agency was a gentleman. And before you go off and think something, he truly was. He made available part of his home. I never saw him for the 2 days that I was there. And his butler took very good care of me. That's how I began. And I tell you this story because if you really want to model, you're really going to have to find it within yourself to take those risks, because it's not going to come knocking at your door. You need to go out and push forward in order to get to where you want to go. Within the first week, they cut off my waist-length hair, gave me a very short, boyish look, and truth be told, I started to work. And over the years, my career spanned through runways and commercials and TV and cinema. And by the time I was 28, at that time, I was aged out. Modeling is an industry that is really about a look. And the look is at any given time. And that look changes. It changes just as much as the seasons change. When I was modeling as a young lady, it was sort of the all-American Cheryl Tiegs, Christy Brinkley look. Those were the girls who were working. After that, slowly after that, came in the superstar girls. You know, it was the Naomi Campbells and the Claudia Schiffers. They were these girls who are nothing like the previous set of girls. These girls were all very exotic and very beautiful and very different and unique. That was selling really big. After that, we had a series of models and looks that were really the waif thin look. Almost, we called it the cocaine look. Girls who looked like they were completely drugged out. That was the look, and that was selling. Today's marketplace is unique once again, because we've gone through this process of inclusion and diversity. So today we have a wide range of models working. If you think, just for an example, if you look around society in North America, take a look at the issues that we have with overweight and obesity. The truth is that North Americans are 70% of them are either overweight or obese. And what does that mean to the modeling world? Well, of course, the client wants to be able to relate to the customer. So now we have models who are also overweight, some of them even obese, and they are working and doing extremely well in a marketplace that is hungry for a representation of exactly that. We also have very much today a lot of the industry, or not a lot, but we have a lot of industry that is very now accepting of the trans model. And that is part of what we have grown into in this part in time. And they are typically very tall, very narrow, very thin models. And I'm sure you probably don't recognize the fact that they are trans. I'm not sure that you do or you don't. I only bring that up because it's part of this inclusion and diversity that is happening today. I would say to you that in terms of aged models, because that's what I'm approached about mostly, the truth of the matter is that it is a very small marketplace, even though we also have a majority of saleability. The truth is that if you're an aged model, the client is actually going to look very strongly at your social media presence. Social media has become your portfolio. In my early days, the portfolio was a book of your photographs that you went around and you showed to all the clients. Today, we live in this digital world where your Instagram account, your TikTok account, or whatever you're socially engaged in, is what the client wants to see. What is the draw to you? Do you have a draw? So if you're an aged model, you have to understand how to work in social media. You have to get those experiences and technology under your belt. And that is something that did not come easy to me. I am not of that generation where technology is easy for me. It simply isn't. I struggle with it. And so that is part of this acceptance of the aging model. You better know that that is a huge part of that. A lot of the models who are working today, the aging models, are models that do have a very healthy following. They have worked hard at their craft, and they understand that that is a saleability of who they are. That's their marketplace. You have to consider that today's model really has to be well-rounded in her skills or his skills. In other words, you have to work well in front of a camera. You have to walk very well and train for a runway. You have to be comfortable enough to produce reels that get submitted for commercials. You have to produce reels for your own Instagram. So the model today has to be multifaceted, and she has to do it with a smile. Truth be told, because attitude has no place in the industry. As a model, I have to say that one of the most exciting parts of this profession for me is the runway. I love the runway. When that music starts going and I've got these fabulous outfits on and the audience is waiting in anticipation, for me, it's like a bit of a show, and it is a show. It's like your little own movie that's going. And once you step out onto that stage, you are in control, full command, and absolutely confident in your look and how you move and how you make those clothes come alive. It is an energy and a perfection all on its own within the modeling industry. The runway girls are off to a category, really off to their own. However, those girls are also, once they hone those skills to some of the biggest designers in the world, they're going to be found in the print world, magazines, advertisements. So the runway is really a great place to get yourself shown out to the public, and of course, to become a favorite of the designer. The first thing that I tell wannabes is that if you think that this is something that you would like to pursue, then I always suggest that you go online and Google who's really known to be in your area, in your city, the top modeling agency. That's who you should be calling first. Go see them. Sometimes they have once a week, they have a call. They want to see new talent, new models. And so they dedicate a couple of hours for that day of the week, and they look at all the new models. And you should have a couple of photographs that you have had taken of you, natural, not all made up. They want to see a natural look. They want to see how you actually really look. And that would be the first place that I would begin. Because the truth is that if a modeling agency wants to sign you up, it's because they believe that they can make money off of you. This is not about a friendship. This is about making money. And one of the hardest things to adjust to is the fact that you're going to be rejected a great deal. You're going to be rejected more than you are not, as a matter of fact. So understanding that it's not about you personally, it's simply that the client is looking for something, or the agency thinks that they need a type of model in their agency because they're missing that kind of a look. It's a business. And so understanding that not to have your feelings hurt takes some time and some effort to get used to. And even as someone who is as seasoned as I am, and I am seasoned, there are times when it's very difficult to continuously have the door slammed in my face, because it does. It gets slammed in my face, and it does in everybody's face. That's the nature of the beast. And what is working today won't be working in 6 months. And even if you are working really well right now, doesn't mean that you will be in 6 months. So you need to be able to adjust emotionally to that kind of a roller coaster, because that's what this industry really is. It has definitely that roller coaster feeling that goes with it. But if you can adjust to that, then the people that you meet are fantastic. I think that finding photographers in your town who are willing to take photographs of you, that is something that your agency, should you get an agency, will set up for you. They will set up hair and makeup and clothing and get you going if they believe in you. If you can't find an agent, then I would say to you that you have to have a hard look at yourself and say, well, maybe this is not for you right now. Maybe this is something in 6 months from now. But right now might not be the time for your particular look. That's a reality check, right? Most recently, I held a casting call for models for the inaugural Naples Fashion Week, which is going to be held in Naples, Florida, the last week of March, and with a gala show evening going to be April the 5th. And it was very exciting for me because I was on the other side of things for a change, where I was the one who was watching for the new coming talent because we were casting for runway models. So fantastic to see all levels and all types of young women, and some not so young, coming out to audition. That's what it really is all about. If you think that you have that in you, then you should not give up. You should go and at least try. And if you try and you keep trying for a while and it's not working, then give it a break and then try later again if it's really in your heart of hearts. I think that there are many facets to this industry. Commercials are a wonderful part of the industry of modeling and happen to pay extremely well. Myself, I had a national campaign for Ulta. It ran all through Christmas and all through the USA.
Did we just become best friends? Did we just become best friends? You like what I like and I like you. We run. Did we just become best friends?
And it was really through Thanksgiving and Christmas. So for 2 solid months, my face was out there. That's important. That's the most important that you can do in terms of your career boost. Getting those commercials is not easy. And it was so far one of my most exciting. I have shot for Bobbi Brown campaign. And as excited as I was to shoot that, for whatever reason, the company decided that they were not going to use the entire campaign. And there were, 4 or 5 of us models who worked all day on this beautiful campaign. And for whatever reason, the client changed their mind and went in a different direction. The disappointment was huge because getting a beauty campaign is a big deal. And for it to not go through is part of the disappointment that we face as models. By and large, the industry standard is 5'9" to 6 feet. By and large, the models are a size 0 to size 2. As an older model, I'm a size 2. Getting down to a size 0, frankly, is very difficult because of my age. Designers, the ones that you see at Fashion Week, they want size 0. And they also want very small top. I'm not sure what I can say on YouTube, but your upper area should be very small. The clothing fits a very specific way, and the designers dictate the look. So they like their models to be teeny tiny. And the older girls, and there are very few that are on the runway, those girls are also, or these women, we are all a little bit bigger than the youngsters, for sure. So there is a bit of acceptance. I don't see that changing in the future. It hasn't changed in 40 years. And although today we have larger models, that's correct, wonderfully, the truth is that the majority of the work is still super thin and super young. The younger and the thinner, the better. That happens to be the reality. So as an aging model, when I have so many wonderful women approaching me, you have to understand how limiting all of this is. There is a definite pushback. And even when you are on that runway and you could be, for example, you could be the star of that show by way of your audience being an older crowd will respond to you. When you go out onto that runway, they will respond to you more energetically than to the younger girls, simply because they relate to you and they're excited to see someone older representing them. But the pushback comes when the client won't necessarily advertise with an older model. They will advertise using younger models in their advertising campaign for that show. So that pushback is still there. And part of why I do what I do is because I think that as a mature model, and I'm now 68, I feel fabulous. I feel like I look fabulous. I know that I don't look like I'm 30 or 40 or even 50, but I know that for a 68-year-old, I look and feel fabulous. I'm healthy and energetic, and I want to be able to share that with all of the lovely ladies who I hope will be subscribing, so that women feel really good and visible about themselves. I'm all about doing what you think you need to do in order to feel and look good about yourself. I don't stand in judgment. And part of the modeling is really for me to reflect to all of the older girls, because I am a senior citizen. It's hard to imagine, but yes, I am. I really want my senior citizens to look forward to their aging process and know that there is a life out there and there is an acceptance out there, and that's what the movement that I want to be part of. So I hope that I have given you some ideas in terms of understanding what it takes. It takes a great deal. You have to be great on social media. That is a key. Regardless of your age, that is where you have to really build an image and a brand of who you are. You need to get a great agent. You need to get in front of a great agent. And if they can support you, then you've got a shot. You've got to be well-rounded. You need to be able to do TV. You need to be able to shoot your own reels. You need to be able to do all those things collectively to have a shot, because it is very difficult. The competition is intense on all levels, from young to old. It is fierce out there. Good luck to all of you. I hope to see you out there. I hope to see you on this page as we continue to talk about all those things that mean something to us. Thank you. Once again, I'm Hanya, and you know what? We are forever fabulous, and we are aging boldly. Yes, we are. Bye for now.